James Comey.
Oh gosh, this guy.
This guy.
I mean, if you want to call him that, if you want to call him a guy, should we really call him a guy? This beta.
Stand him.
This beta.
So he has the gall and the arrogance to condescend about Dan Bongino's former role as a podcaster. This is so disgusting, the way that he talks about this. So he was on with Wolf Blitzer, and Wolf was asking him about these cases. We talked about this yesterday, that Kash and Dan Bongino both said we're kind of like reopening these, or not. Even if they're still open, they're like putting more resources into getting these 3 cases more attention. And so Wolf Blitzer was asking James Comey what he thought about that. And listen to what he said about Dan Bongino. It just is so infuriating.
It's a little confusing to me, honestly. I'm sure it's a huge adjustment to go from being a podcaster to being the deputy director of the FBI, but I don't understand this tweet. First of all, I assume that the investigation of the pipe bomb that was found on January 6th was never closed. The FBI never closes such a thing, so I guess it means they're going to focus on it more. And as to the other things, I thought the Supreme Court marshal had investigated the leak of the opinion, the draft opinion. I don't know what the FBI's role is there. Cocaine at the White House, I thought the Secret Service investigated that, so I don't follow it and understand it. I also don't understand who the audience is for this tweet. The FBI often calls for public assistance, or in matters of great public concern will announce an investigation to reassure the public. This seems much more narrowly targeted, maybe to a former podcast audience.
Oh my God.
It's not surprising that you don't understand that, you twit, because you didn't understand what the shells meant on the beach. Everybody else knew, but you didn't understand it because you're of a lower level of intelligence. We know that. How dare he talk down to him?
I know.
They all do that too. They all use the media experience as some sort of a way to discount everything they did before doing media.
Right.
They do it to Hegseth too. Drives me crazy. As if Hegseth was never even a part of the military ever.
Right.
He never had any. He just did a morning show, you guys. That's all he did.
What an elitist prick that guy is. God.
Not only that, but what's wrong with being in the media? What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with being a podcaster?
What's wrong with that? Hello? Like we both worked for like a collective half a century to do this. Some of us worked really hard to do this. So bite me.
Yeah, he is absolutely awful. He was on recently too with Jen Psaki, where she's trying to say there's, Trump's doing like unprecedented things, and how are we to react to it? And he basically said that anyone involved with Trump or a supporter of Trump is white supremacist adjacent. This is now how they're talking about us and everybody that supports Trump. Here he is with Psaki.
That is happening now is that the Trump administration is, of course, testing the system in ways it hasn't been tested before. In the law enforcement sense, do you think there are laws that should be put in place that would help better manage this that aren't in place now? I mean, are we equipped? Is the law enforcement system and the legal system equipped to deal with what we're seeing now?
Probably there could be changes at the margins, but in the main, we have the tools. There are cultural impediments to doing this work. Let's say you work in the FBI. You know that one of the 2 political parties is, let me put it nicely, white supremacist adjacent at a minimum. And so why would you want to throw your career on that side of the line and be summoned to Capitol Hill to be asked, why are you pursuing these innocent groups? And so we have a cultural impediment to working it effectively that should get more attention than it does.
Yes, the people who are not white supremacists are the ones who are telling the white farmers, you don't get anything, but those people with melanin get their loans paid back. But since you're white, you don't get anything. We're going to go ahead and we're going to discriminate against you. But we're the white supremacists? I'm sorry. I'm going to need somebody to just break that down. Somebody with a higher level of intelligence like James Comey. The projection is just, it's too much at this point. The gaslighting and the projection.
Yeah. And he does these safe interviews where he's talking with Jen freaking Psaki or Wolf Blitzer, but come up to him and ask him to explain those words directly when he's in the middle of a book signing, and all of a sudden he doesn't want to talk anymore. This is what happened yesterday.
I was going to ask you about the MSNBC interview you were doing, because on social media, everyone's saying He's talking about the white supremacist adjacent Republican Party. Everybody in the party, voters. What's you want to clarify?
I don't want to answer that one. No, thank you though.
No clarification at all.
No, I'm not going to comment on it.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Hello.
Be well, you white supremacist. Be well.
The most amazing thing to me about that clip is that there was someone in line wanting him to sign a book.
Mm-hmm.
Who are these people?
Even more amazing is that he wrote a book.
This isn't even the first one.
I know. You know he had ghostwriters, though. You know it.
Just I'm so grossed
There's
out.
no way that guy wrote his own book.
Show of hands, please. Who has gone out to see The Last Rodeo? Anybody? Anybody? I mean, we saw it in advance because we're super special.
I know, right? We got to see it like in our home.
But I'm just curious if anybody has gone out and seen it, what they thought, because it's really, really a fun movie and it's a feel-good movie. Who doesn't need that in these times?
And women, what do we think about Neil McDonough's blue eyes? What do we think?
Okay, the eyes.
The
eyes are nice. I will say
he's hot. She doesn't think he's as hot as I think he's hot, but I think he's hot.
Okay, a lot of people, people are saying they saw it, they loved it. Yeah,
so
great.
Good,
that's awesome.
Right?
Yeah, it's good stuff. And it feels good to also support Angel Studios, who just does amazing, amazing work. They're, of course, the first movie that we promoted of theirs was Sound of Freedom, which was extraordinary. But they produce films, TV shows for families. You know what I mean? You go and you're not just going to be entertained, but you're going to feel something. There's going to be a positive takeaway.
You can bring your kids. Yeah,
exactly. And consider becoming a premium member of the Angel Studios Guild. It actually gives you a voice in terms of what productions happen next. You get to vote. Your voice matters. And if there's something in the works that's being proposed to Angel Studios and you're a premium member, you can be like, I don't think that looks very good. And I'd rather see this. And your voice actually counts. So that's just one of the benefits of becoming a premium member. The other, of course, is that you get free tickets. You get 2 free tickets to The Last Rodeo. You get free tickets to any of their other films that come out in the theaters. So it is a great organization to be a member of. Highly, highly recommend. You can become a member by simply going to angel.com/chicks. angel.com/chicks. Check it out and see the movie. See it this weekend. Well, Kash Patel was on with Brett Baer responding to these comments, and here is what Kash said.
Comey. If he wants to come after me, no problem. I've been living rent-free in that guy's head for years, and that's just a bonus. Do you know how many copycats we've had to investigate as a result of that beachside venture from the former director?
Is that right?
Do you know how many agents I've had to take offline from chasing down child sex predators, fentanyl traffickers, terrorists? Because everywhere across this country, people are popping up on social media and think that a threat to the life of the President of the United States is a joke and they can do it because he did it. That's what I'm having to deal with every single day. And that's what I'm having to pull my agents and analysts off because he thought it was funny to go out there and make a political statement.
That's got to be frustrating. You know what he should do? Put him in jail. I don't know, because I feel like 30 years ago that would have happened. If you threatened the life of a president, remember? Do you remember? I'm old enough to remember when you weren't allowed to do that.
Yeah, how long does Comey get away with being all like, "Oh, I'm folksy. I didn't know that meant anything." I mean, why does he get to do that?
I'm folksy too, and I knew what it meant. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. Just put the guy in jail. Cut him.
I saw somebody comment that, no arrests are made. Patel is a joke. People are very, very frustrated, and they're only going to get more so when they hear this little snippet, because Brett Baer pushed back on his earlier comments in front of Capitol Hill about Jeffrey Epstein taking his own life. He is tripling down.
A lot of conspiracy theories out there.
There are.
The Epstein thing, you dealt with Maria, you said, as far as you know, he killed himself.
I'm telling you, he killed himself.
All right. Listen, that's fine. I'll give him some grace on this. But in a month, if I hear he and Bongino say, "Hey, COVID started with a bat in a market," I'm seriously going to lose my mind, you guys.